I thought of this artist because I think Chris has looked at him a little bit, along with every other illustrator in the world. René Magritte.
Oh gosh.
What a wonderful artist. He's Belgian born. He was born in the late 1800s, 1898 in Belgium. He actually also died in Brussels. He lived to be 68 years old. He had an unfortunate uh, ending, died of pancreatic cancer. But in the meantime, he kind of set the world on fire as an artist. And he studied uh, at in Brussels at the Académique Royale des Beaux-Arts in Brussels, and started painting fairly. He started his professional career as a painter pretty young, but wasn't directly. This piece is actually kind of early in his career. Um, but just like all artists, he went through a lot of phases and a lot of stages. He was an illustrator for a while.
Hmm.
Did a lot of poster work for film and theater, and some advertising work. But I think almost every, especially conceptual illustrator, owes him a royalty. He was just created something and that influenced a lot of artists.
Okay, you can look at all the illustrators who not owe him a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Really good thinker, problem solver. Most of these things were not, as illustrators would do them, would be for an assignment, solving a problem for a client. He was doing it for himself, just trying to come up with interesting ideas. And part of being a surrealist, I think good surrealists, they're very good realists. He had tremendous chops, could really make something look like something, and and a great sense of design. Really fun to go. I love like just focusing in on an art. I spent a couple hours going through a bunch of work, and this is, except for the first few pieces, because I didn't want him to be so foreign to people they wouldn't know who he was. Most of this is fairly chronological. He there's a personal story I read about him that I thought was it's not funny, but to me it seemed a little funny. He had an affair with one of his muses, his models, and he asked his friend to distract his wife, who ended up having an affair with his wife for years.
Huh.
And there was
That's awesome. Well, she's distracted.
he
Definitely distracted.
distracted her.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
And so they separated for a long period of time, but then they came back and lived together afterwards.
That's cool.
I thought that was an interesting story.
Not that distracted.
That's right. He only left Belgium for a period of time to live in Paris, part of during that distraction period, um, and dodging the war, or the wars, I should say. But really, really great thinking, and all of the other aspects of composition and color and things that he used as part of his arsenal to make great pictures. He was good at it all.
Hmm. Yeah, you can see a lot of Who was that? Who was that illustrator? Was it Oblinsky?
Yeah,
Raphael
Raphael.
Oblinsky?
Raphael
Linsky.
Oblinsky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Raphael Oblinsky. You could definitely see a lot of influence there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even Brad to a
I
certain,
was gonna say even Brad. Yeah.
Sure.
and not, interesting too, especially something like this. It wasn't just not just the idea, it was just the visual look itself.
Yeah.
The really, distinct color, the simplicity of the painting. That's definitely him.
Yeah.
He was a man and a bowler. That was his thing. Gosh, and so many painters and just pop culture too. How many album covers,
Yeah. My God. Yeah.
yeah. They say that Apple, the Macintosh, that they look to him as influence. Love this one.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that beautiful?
Really
Wow.
cool.
Such a simple, quiet solution, beautifully composed. Basically a three value painting. I love it. He definitely, all the way through his career, some very symbolic things that just kept reoccurring.
No, I don't know that much. I mean, I know his work, of course, but I don't know that much about him. I don't know if there were actually, themes, emotional or
Yeah, I
um,
try to remember a few of the titles. I don't do well with that, and so I won't try. I'm sure I'll get them all messed up, but uh, I think you could. It meant more when you were looking at the titles.
yeah.
Things tied together a little bit. Yeah, in a short presentation like this, I just want to show you art.
Yeah.
This is actually a collage. This was very much towards the end of his life,
Wow.
and some sculpture work that he did. He died in 1967. It always amazes me. I was like, I was alive for part of his life, that's
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not that long ago.
no,
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
not. Some of these last few are really my favorites. I love these things. This one I've always loved. Some good clouds.
Yeah.
That could have been for being there.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think of Peter Sellers in that
Oh my God, I love
shape, that silhouette. It's fun to, it's maybe you have to kind of reinstate an audience of younger people looking at this, and it's like he did most of this first. That's
Right.
that's the
Right.
real events. He initiated this and others, but Dolly had a lot to do with it too. When I showed Dolly's work a few weeks ago, I was totally overwhelmed of things I didn't know he made, work that he made that was so good.
Oh, he was just amazing. And he made a lot of work.
Oh yeah. Love this one.
Yeah, that's sweet.
All right, so this is the Magritte Museum in Brussels. It's a few shots of him working in his studio, which is interesting. I don't think, you look at his studio and they showed like 7 or 8 shots of in his studio. It's not really like a formal studio. It's like he's painting in a living room somewhere. He's got like the art supplies are very contained. Oil painting can be that way. But it's all neat and clean and looks like it's just in the middle of you know, where he lived.
I
Not
was
like
gonna say,
Francis
it's not-
Bacon, huh?
No, not like Lucian Freud and Francis Bacon by any means. You know, Chris,
Raymond
you can
Bonilla.
pick out of this. I did a Francis Bacon talk a month or two ago, and at the end I showed his studio. And the part that just got me is the shot in the studio. I made sure I showed one where it had all of his process work, his thumbnails for the recent painting pinned up on the wall. And it was like somebody that was that expressive with his work was doing thumbnails. That's
awesome.
great message to everybody.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's my little talk tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Great artist, René Magritte.